Yeah. The Chargers are back. The Chargers are back. Yeah. The Chargers are back. Welcome to Chargers Talk 4630. Say what's up to Stacy, the host. Always keeping it real though. Rocking with the Chargers since 78. From San Diego up to 5 Mount, LA State. Powder blues clean. Don't let the colors fool you. Jim Harbaugh running the show. Yeah, the coach is brutal. Back to back, double digit wins. Set the tone. Lost a few pieces, but we locked in. Fully loaded zone. Eyes on the future. Yeah, we speak it into heaven. Super Bowl is so far. 2027. I'm saying your team sidelines nervous. Yeah, they know what it be. Mike McDaniel in the offense scheming like demons, huh? Chris O'Leary in the building. Defense! Defense! Year 3 about to tell us what this team really meant. Playoff run longer, yeah, we put them to sleep. If you want Chargers everything, this is the place to be. Chargers Talk 4630. Nobody's got it better than us. Hey, share and subscribe. Enjoy the show.
This episode of Chargers Talk 4630 is brought to you by Zevo Life, the exclusive patented superfood changing the way people fuel their bodies. Now listen, if you're looking for a game-changing way to improve your health, Zevo Life is the world's most nutrient-dense whole plant. We're talking over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and powerful antioxidants, all in one natural source. Just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts your energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. And the best part, people everywhere are giving it a 5-star review because it works. So if you're ready to feel the difference, head over to Zevo.life and start your journey with their 30-day risk-free guarantee. And because you're a loyal listener of this podcast, you get an exclusive 30% discount. Just use my code ChargeTalk4630 at checkout. That's without the R. That's ChargeTalk4630. Take control of your health today with Zevo Life. Your body will thank you. Hello and welcome to Chargers Talk 4630. I'm Stacy, and before I get started, I want to remind you to like, share, and subscribe to get our content. And if you like to listen at work or during your travels, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. We are on all digital platforms. Today, I want to go in a little different direction, right? Because all season we've been hearing the same thing over and over and over and over again. I'm not going to hold you too long. I just want to talk with you guys for maybe 15 minutes. It's Friday. I know you guys are probably busy. Some of you guys are probably at work. And I just want to bring a different conversation to you that maybe a lot of us may have forgotten about. So everybody's talking about fixing the offensive line. Everybody's talking about protecting Justin Herbert. And listen, that matters. We can't ignore it. And by protecting Justin Herbert, it means we can finally see this offense take off and Herbert be in that conversation as one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. But today, we're not doing that because everybody's talking about the offensive line, right? I've talked about it more than enough, and it is what it is at this point. And we all know how important it is that the team get it right. But today, we're talking about the players that nobody else is talking about. We're talking about the hidden gems, the undrafted guys, the late-round players. We all have seen how championship teams are built, right? It's not just the stars, it's the guys. Now, before we even go into the names, let's talk about the bigger picture. What Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh are doing right now is making a lot of Charger fans uncomfortable. You know why? This isn't the Chargers way that we used to seeing. We used to flashy signings, big contracts, quick fixes, right? And then 2 years later, you got cap problems, roster holes, the same cycle, right? But this regime, they're building this thing brick by brick. And yeah, it's not always pretty. Some of those moves had us like, my God, what are they doing? But knowing Harbaugh and Ortiz, there's a method to what they're doing. Even right now, you look at free agency. It actually makes sense for the Chargers to wait until June the 1st before making certain moves. Why? Because you don't want to mess with compensatory picks. You know that's one of Joe Ortiz's pet peeves. He really valued those compensatory picks, especially only having 5 picks in this year's draft. And if things fall right, they could be looking at something like a 3rd-round compensatory pick for losing Odafe away. And that matters, right? That's how you sustain success. And while people are locked in on the big names, I'm watching something else. Let's talk about that cornerback room for a second. You lose Benjamin St-Juste. Now the question becomes, who steps up? Because last year, you had 2 undrafted guys that turned a lot of heads, Nico Reed and Eric Rogers. And I don't think people really understand how impressive they really was. Reed, he made the 53-man roster as a rookie. That's very rare. Rogers, He had 2 interceptions in preseason, including a pick 6 before going on IR. That's real production. That's Joe Ortiz's background, finding value where nobody else is looking. Now, this is where we really shift gears, because there's a battle happening right now that most fans aren't paying attention to. And these are the names you need to know going into 2026. Cam Hart, a physical solid corner, right? Taheeb Still has big player upside. We've seen him have some really big games and some big moments and a couple of picks that really switched momentum in a game. R.J. Mickens, still developing as a safety and has a lot of special teams value, but we also see him step up in big moments. These guys who might not be stars yet, but they raise your defensive floor, right? You're talking about undrafted players in Nico Reed and Eric Rogers. They both had solid camps last season, and reports that I'm hearing is that they both are ahead of schedule and they're ready to compete for a roster spot. Now, this is how you build depth without killing your salary cap. Now, let's talk about the depth at linebacker. Marlo Wax and Deshaun Phillips, right? They both have high motors. They both bring a lot of value to special teams. Plus, they're good rotation pieces should somebody suffer an injury at that position, right? These are all Harbaugh-type players. They tough, they physical, they earn everything. Now, let's talk about one of the most interesting players on that roster, too, Junior Colson. Let's take it a step further, because when you really look at this linebacker situation, this is a straight-up battle between production and potential. You got Denzel Perriman at 5'11", 243. He undersized by today's standards, but when he's on the field, his presence is immediately felt. Despite being long in the tooth, he's physical, especially running downhill against the run. He's still one of the most reliable tacklers on this defense. Hey guys, I got to put you on to something I've been checking out. It's a company called Distil Union. They make these slick minimalistic wallets and magnetic key organizers, right? That just makes life easier. And get this, I've got an exclusive 20% off just for you. All you got to do is go to distilunion.com, make your purchase, and don't forget, when you check out, use my code ChargeTalk4630. I earn a small commission when you use my code, so when you buy, you're not only supporting me and the show, you're getting the best deal they offer. Now, yeah, in coverage, yeah, he's a little bit of a liability. That's where teams attack him, but what he brings in terms of toughness, leadership, and setting the tone, you can't always measure that. And then you look at Junior Colson. He's 6'3", I believe, 247 pounds. But this is what you want your Mike linebacker to look like. He has the length, the size, he's athletic, he has a high upside, and he has that Michigan background under Harbaugh, right? But he really was brought in to eventually take Perriman's spot. That was the plan. But right now, that plan has hit a wall because of two things: availability and consistency. He hasn't been able to stay on the field, and when he is on the field, it's like he's thinking too much. You see it. Late reads, bad angles, sometimes out of position, and in coverage especially. He's still trying to figure it out instead of just reacting. So now, 2026 becomes a prove-it year, and it's really simple what he has to do if he wants that job. I see 4 things he needs to do. First, he's got to stay healthy. You can't win a starting job from the sideline. Second, he's got to speed up his processing. At Mike linebacker, you don't have time to think. You just got to go. Third, he's got to become a more consistent tackler, because right now, that's still Perriman's strength. And fourth, just be reliable in coverage. Not perfect, just not a liability. Because if Colson could just be solid across the board, he'll eventually take that job off of pure upside and the fact that Perriman is 34 years old. But if he keeps missing time or he keeps playing hesitant, then Perriman, even with his flaws, is still the safest option. And in this league, coaches will always choose trust over potential. It's about who the coaches trust to line up, make the call, and not mess it up. And I'll say this: don't be surprised if the Chargers still draft another linebacker, maybe 3rd round. Not because they don't like Colson, but because this regime believes in creating competition everywhere. And that brings us right back to the bigger picture. While everybody's focused on the offensive line, this is the other side of roster building, right? These players, they raise the floor of your team. They're not always the stars. They don't always make the headlines, but they're the reason your team don't fall apart when the injuries hit. I believe this is what Joe Ortiz is attempting to do here. Build a lot of depth so you can be prepared, not if, but when the injury bug hits. It's a reality that all 32 teams has to face. The phrase next man up gets thrown around a lot in football whenever injuries happen. but it only really holds weight if the replacement can actually perform at a respectable level. It sounds good in theory, stay ready, step in, keep things moving, but in reality, it depends entirely on the quality of the depth of your starter. Teams that lack depth are the ones that truly feel the impact of injuries. When a key player goes down, especially at a critical position, the drop-off can be so significant that it can derail your entire season. So at that point, next man up becomes more of a maybe I want to say a hopeful slogan than a real solution. For it to mean anything, that next player has to be somebody who can step in without the team losing its identity or effectiveness. Otherwise, it's not about resilience or mentality. It's about roster construction. We know the best teams aren't just strong at the top, right? They're built to withstand setbacks without falling apart. We've seen this happen to the Chargers with the offensive line last season. When an injury happens, you don't want the next man up to be the Bradley Bosemans or Andre James or Austin Deculus or the Branson Taylors of the world, right? Hell, I'll even throw in Trey Pipkins for that matter, but they ain't none of my business. I see Joe Ortiz trying to strengthen the bottom of the roster so he can be prepared for injuries so that when the injuries happen, the drop-off is not a wide gap. Those guys are the grinders. Those guys are the special team guys, and those guys are truly the next man up players. And that's what this Charger team is becoming. Not flashy, not reckless, but I would say methodical. So as this offseason keeps rolling and the headlines stay focused on the big names, just remember those names we talked about. Because those are the players, in my opinion, that turn a good team into a real contender. Now I want to hear from you. Which under-the-radar player are you watching? Who do you think is about to take the next step? Drop it in the comments. You know I read every single one. And if you rock with this kind of breakdown and not just surface level talk, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe because we're just getting started. Have a fantastic Friday and even better weekend. We are 27 days away from the NFL 2026 draft. There's a lot of time still left for moves and decisions to be made. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I wanted to bring you something different and refreshing to talk about. I'm Stacy, and this is Chargers Talk 4630, where we all meet right here to share our opinions on the team that we love. Have a great one, and boat up. 4630.